It feels like things are slowly starting to get more serious on Joe Millionaire. We're still not at that point where uh, there's real, especially for Steven's side of things, like real connections being formed. He's like still just feeling people out and slowly getting to that point. Kurt, on the other hand, maybe not the case. He's been kind of all in with Carolyn and a little bit all in with Amanda from pretty early on. But it's good to see Steven, wanting to go in a little bit deeper. And I feel like that's what we saw tonight. So today we had two group dates. One kind of felt like just like a mini group hangout, and then a second group date and an elimination. Saw one of the people who was considered one of the favorites get sent home. When it came down to the elimination tonight, I really had no clue what was going to happen. But anyways, let's get into the episode. So first, we have a group date that's just go hang out at the pool, and really we didn't get to see that much. Kurt, he doesn't want to show any affection to any woman while Carolyn is around, because like he's already fearing her wrath, which should be a red flag, especially for this circumstance, but apparently isn't. And because he's attracted to Carolyn, he's still just going to continue to play her games. So like we're at this group date, like he barely even wants to talk to anybody. We see a couple little conversations. Probably the one that sticks out the most was Brianna and Steven. She's really apologizing for her behavior on the camping, for getting so drunk. And, Steven's trying to tell her like, hey, like it wasn't even that bad. Like you got drunk, you wanted to have some fun. That's all right by me. And she's kind of lacking a little bit of self-confidence to really just be okay with everything, really. So not much comes out of that. And then we really get set up for our second group date, where the two leads decide that they want to leave. Well, I guess the Martin decided. Martin decided that three women would stay behind, so that the Kurt and Steven would get an opportunity to get to know the other women that maybe they were on the fence about, or that were interested in both Steven and Kurt. They could explore those relationships a little bit deeper. So Carolyn stays home, Jenny stays home, and Brianna stays home, with the reason being that the gentlemen both feel that they already have their minds made up about those those three women. The other six head out to a vineyard where they get some quality time with the two men. The women split into three groups, and it kind of felt to me like the three that were more interested in Steven were in one group, and the three that were more interested in Kurt in one group. And then kind of set it up so that they spent the day portion with the set of women who maybe wasn't as interested in them, and the night portion with the set that was. While this is all going down, Jenny is back at the mansion with her gold coin, contemplating whether or not she's going to use it, and ultimately ends up deciding that yes, she will use it to go steal Steven for an hour. But while all that decision's being made, and like must have been a hell of a drive to get out there, because like I'm pretty sure that she made the decision when it was daylight, and it was definitely nighttime by the time she got out there. So maybe Google Maps got a little twisted on the way there, but eventually they did get there. But anyways, let's jump back to this date. The first part of the date, I would say the parts that stick out to me were Steven and Kala. There's definitely a little bit of a connection forming there. They shared a kiss, and that's probably about it from the first portion. Other than that, we kept getting all episode really, these weird shots of Annie basically thinking that Kurt's the one with the money, and they're trying to frame it like she's not going to be interested in Steven anymore. But I'm not quite convinced that's going to be the case as we get deeper into the final 5 episodes. In the night portion, first off, Amanda and Kurt, that was really Kurt's like shining moment of the episode. I think was his time with Amanda. They do seem like they have a good connection to me. They seem like they're growing closer to me. They've definitely got the attraction for each other, and I'm really at this point hoping that that's who he ends up picking at the end. Also, from our little preview, we maybe got a little spoiler that maybe Amanda is a millionaire as well. So it's not just that she's looking for money if she already has money, which would be, in my opinion, a very interesting twist to this entire season if some of the women came out like, oh, hey, like we're millionaires too. And then on the Steven side, Steven and Amber definitely starting to form a connection there. Every time they've talked all season long, they've seemed like they have a great connection. And, you know, I love that line, Steven saying like, you know, my mom would love you. Like already thinking about that. And just like seeing that, just, you know, maybe it's not Steven's strongest connection, but he almost seemed like a little giddy and probably more comfortable with Amber than any of the other women. I'm not really willing to say that she's a front runner quite yet, but good to see that connection forming there. And then Steven and Whitney, definitely they were starting to form a connection. You know, she's kind of been one of the mysterious women this season, and now she kind of felt like Steven was peeling back a few of those layers. They were getting their connection on right as Jenny shows up with that golden coin. I love that moment when she walks up and, you know, like Whitney's jaw drops to the floor and said like Whitney was just, or pardon me, Jenny was just backlit with this light and like this angelic halo with her blonde hair looking like an angel, and kind of spoiled the time between Steven and Whitney. But ultimately, this plan ends up backfiring on Jenny. You know, Steven said like he was right at the end of his last conversation with Whitney, you know, wasn't mentally prepared for Jenny to show up and a little bit checked out, and it impacted their time together. And Jenny basically ends up self-sabotaging and winds up being the